Coast that it is New York City, it is 65 degrees. And it's 45 in San Francisco. I couldn't believe it. At least it was sunny. It didn't rain. It wasn't cloudy. I saw most of the sights, the trolleys and things like that. And can I say something about food, particularly fast food? Now, I have heard a lot of people talk about In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out Burger, In-N-Out Burger. I went to In-N-Out Burger. I went with a group, a group of friends. None of us were impressed. It was like a glorified McDonald's. That was our opinion of it. Weren't impressed. I was told, well, it's because you didn't have an animal style. Well, one of us did, and she was not impressed with it. I mean, I don't know what the hell animal style is supposed to be, but she wasn't impressed with the animal style burger. Now, I will tell you a burger that we did have that was almost as good as Five Guys. It was a very good burger. Smash Burger. Smash Burger was very good. But In-N-Out, if I go to the West Coast again, I'm not going to bother going to In-N-Out. It was unimpressive. Ghirardelli chocolate. Its home, well, its founding and headquarters, I guess, is still in San Francisco. It's an old factory. It was in San Francisco on the near Fisherman's Wharf. They give away free samples. They have 5 within the Ghirardelli Square complex. I guess they have 5 stores. They're all different. And you walk into them, and they give you a free sample of Ghirardelli chocolate, and it was absolutely delicious, and they had some delicious Ghirardelli chocolate, hot chocolate. Had a Ghirardelli hot fudge sundae, absolutely fantastic. Also had some pinkberry. Now, pinkberry is, I do believe it's frozen yogurt. And the toppings, you get to choose like 3 or 4 different toppings to put on this thing. It was amazing. Pinkberry was amazing. So, I mean, everything wasn't a disappointment like In-N-Out Burger. The other things were quite wonderful, surprisingly so. They lived up to their reputation. Saw Alcatraz. Learned a lot of history about the island of Alcatraz, how it was the island of Alcatraz, and then Fort Alcatraz, and Alcatraz State Pen, and then Native American Indian occupied Alcatraz. Now it is a federal park, National Park Alcatraz. A lot of history on that island. It's amazing. And the Golden Gate Bridge, of course. Got to see. I was amazed to learn that on average, since that bridge has been open, it averages. Now, as far as I know, nobody jumped while we were there, but it averages about 1 jumper per week. Suicide. Yeah, that's a lot of people. In fact, evidently there are so many people that go up to the bridge to jump off to end their life that there are 3. On both sides of the bridge, there are 3 on each side hotlines. Call if you're feeling depressed. Call somebody. Like the Boys Town hotline thing. They have it on the bridge. They got 3 phones on each side of the bridge, and because you can walk the bridge on each side. It's a beautiful view of the bay and out towards the Pacific. It's a perfect view of it. I did see a Pacific sunset, absolutely fantastic, marvelous. And it really made me think of how grand and great our country is, because we have this opportunity that so few Canada has it. They have an east and a west coast. They have an Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean. I guess to a degree Mexico does as well, but they're more facing the Gulf of Mexico and the Pacific, but they still have an East Coast sunrise and a West Coast sunset. So we're very there are, not even Australia. Well, maybe Australia a little bit, because no, Australia doesn't have any. They're the Pacific. They don't have an Atlantic and they don't have a two different ocean. They're a giant island basically is what Australia is. So that as far as I'm concerned, that doesn't count. Australia's a continent. No, it's a giant island. So it doesn't count. Substantialness is the U.S. I mean, how lucky are we? Literally. If you timed it right, you could actually see the sun rise on the East Coast, fly out to the West Coast, and be there in plenty of time to see its sunset the same day on the West Coast. That is the greatness of this nation. It is one of the great things about it's absolutely amazing that we can do that. In all the flyover country in between, that's a beautiful land in between the coasts. I don't care what anybody says. It's not flyover country because I'm flying over this stuff. Going to the West Coast, it was dark. It was at night, so seeing all the lights until you get to the Rocky Mountain area. You could pretty much where our route of flight took us near Denver. You could see this big, huge patch of light that we assumed was Denver. It could only be Denver, and then miles and miles of pitch black on the ground. Obviously, the Rockies, because there's no civilization in the Rockies, really. And then to hit west of the Rockies, and you start to see civilization in the form of lights on the ground again. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I tell you, folks, I keep telling people I'm a man that's having a love affair with this country. It is the United States of America is an amazing nation. Even as we vote for things that we should not be voting for, like socialism. Well, it's true, we are. That was, we took another step towards socialism last week. We did. There's no denying it, folks. We've got 48 million people receiving food stamps. 20% of the population is receiving food stamp assistance in this country. The wealthiest nation on the planet, 20% of our population is getting government assistance to eat. And yet, to hear liberals talk, we need more taxes so more people can get government assistance. I guess that's their reasoning. Look, folks, I saw the government assistance or lack thereof in San Francisco. Let me tell you, it's not working. The wonderful, socialist experiment is not working. It never has worked anywhere it's tried. It's still not working. No matter what you do or try, it's not going to work. The whole notion of it is wrong. That's the problem. It's the whole notion of it. It isn't that we're not spending enough in taxes. It isn't that we're, not the rich aren't paying their fair share. It's that it doesn't work. And frankly, we're going to have to be honest with ourselves. We got to be honest. The honest truth is that you were always going to have poor. You're always going to have, because not everybody, even though we're all created the same, we come into the world the same way and we leave the world the same way. In between, we have that equality of being born and dying the same, but in between, we're not guaranteed the same results because we all have different talents. And not only do we all have different talents, we all have different motivational factors. So even though somebody might be ultra talented, they also might be ultra lazy. And because in our modern society, People have the ability to indulge in their laziness. Now, yes, there are people that are lazy, plain and simple. I know some liberals, they get frustrated and upset. How dare you call people late? Well, no, they are. That's just the truth. Now, look, I am well aware that there are also people that are not lazy. They work their butts off, and they don't seem to get ahead. I understand that. But, maybe I'm going to say they need to do something different. I mean, hell, don't complain to me if you spent 10 years at McDonald's making minimum wage. I mean, hello? No, I'm not saying people that work at McDonald's are lazy. I'm just saying if you work at McDonald's, you have a family to feed, and you're still making minimum wage. No, maybe you're not lazy. You're probably not lazy. You're just being stupid. I'm laying it out there. You're being stupid. If it's a temporary situation to get you through a gap of unemployment, fine. But if you make it a career, no offense to the managers of these restaurants, but if you're making it a career, a non-officer, non-management career, you're stupid. And don't come complaining to me because, you're living below the poverty level. You need to do something different. I don't know what you got to do. I don't know what your skills are. I don't know what your interests are. But you need to do something different. If you do the same thing over and over again, year in and year out, and you expect a different result each year, you're crazy. That's the clinical definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different result each time. Look, I've been broke. Well, I've never been lazy. I've always known if I wanted more, I was going to have to do something different. At least try. If you try and fail, it's one thing, but damn it, try. Get out of your comfort zone. I mean, that's one thing my family cannot say about me. Oh, yeah, Rod was lazy. That's not going to be a word that's used to describe me. Some family members have called me a dreamer. Yeah. A lot of dreamers made a lot of things happen. A lot of dreamers became very wealthy. A lot of dreamers did a lot of good. If we didn't have dreamers in this world, we wouldn't have the kind of world and civilization we have today. It takes dreamers. It takes doers. You cannot sit back and be lazy and expect to have things handed to you. I mean, I know there are a lot of Christian liberals out there. Well, we need to help Jesus. Jesus said that we're supposed to take care of those who couldn't take care of themselves. Right. But Jesus also said, if you do not work, meaning those who are fully capable of working and do not because they are lazy, well, then neither shall you eat. Which means then, for the most part, we shouldn't be handing out food stamps to people. And this whole notion that we don't need or shouldn't have a work requirement. You know what? If you're going to get my tax dollars, then I think you should be doing something at least, 5 or 10 hours a week. That's slave labor. No, they're not. They're getting paid. They're getting paid by the government. They're still getting paid. You're getting a welfare check. You're getting food stamps. I'm only asking for 5 or 10 hours. Hell, at the amount of money that some people get for welfare and food stamp assistance, other government assistance, working 10 hours a week is probably the equivalent of getting a $15 or $20 an hour job. Do the math. Clean up the parks, clean up the roadways, or do something that's in the public good. Seeing how you're siphoning funds from the public, why not put something back? Give something back. Not be lazy. And no, I'm not saying homeless people. Well, the homeless people I saw, most of them